In the Konstantinovka direction, artillery power once again demonstrated its dominance. The crew of a 152mm Giatsint B gun from the Yug group, part of the Guards tank formation, carried out a coordinated strike on enemy positions. With accurate fire and high destructive power, targets containing enemy personnel were successfully eliminated. The operation increased pressure along the front line and reaffirmed the effectiveness of artillery fire support on the battlefield. Specialists of the Unmanned Systems Forces launched Geran-2 UAVs toward targets near Miranovka in the Sumy region. Moving silently through the night, the drones struck with precision, hitting an armed force of Ukraine's storage area and a UAV command post. The impacts shattered infrastructure and disrupted control, underscoring the growing reach and accuracy of unmanned strike operations. We will start the story with the front line in the Zaporozhye region. The thunder of artillery once again shook the Kharkiv direction. The Giatsint S self-propelled artillery system of the Dnieper group of forces carried out a precision strike that destroyed an enemy field ammunition depot. With well-aimed fire and accurate coordination, the target was successfully neutralized, cutting off the opponent's logistical supply. The operation underscored superior firepower and combat readiness on the battlefield. High above the night sky, air defense units and FPV drone operators of the 3rd Motorized Rifle Division, part of the 20th Combined Arms Army of the Zapad group of forces, sprang into action to repel an enemy air attack in the Special Military Operations Zone. Tracers and intercepts cut through the darkness as threats were detected and destroyed, restoring control of the skies and leaving the night once again under friendly watch. In the opening minutes, artillery units from the center group neutralized a concentration of Ukrainian armed forces personnel in the Krasnoarmeysk direction, clearing the way for the advance of assault detachments. Shortly afterward, soldiers of the Vostok group destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces defensive position in the Zaporozhye region, weakening enemy control in that sector. Unmanned systems units continue to operate with high precision and effectiveness across multiple sectors. In the Kharkiv region, Lancet loitering munition teams from the 244th Artillery Brigade of the 11th Army Corps, Sever Group, destroyed a moving supply group carrying ammunition and materiel belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces. In the Kupyansk area, FPV drone operators from the separate 375th Anti-Tank Artillery Division of the Zapad Group struck and disabled camouflage positions containing enemy personnel. Drone pilots of the Sever Group also burned enemy communications equipment and repeaters, disrupting command and control at Ukrainian armed forces positions in Kharkiv. Meanwhile, airborne troops from Tula disrupted Ukrainian armed forces rotation and logistics deliveries in the Sumy region. In the Krasnoarmeysk direction, drone operators of the center group neutralized enemy equipment and personnel. And in Zaporozhye, UAVs of the Vostok group prevented attempts to assemble enemy reserves. In the Dnieper River Delta of the Kherson region, unmanned systems units of the Dnieper group of forces use uncrewed surface vehicles to destroy armed force of Ukraine watercraft and block enemy crossing attempts. Operating the Sirius 82 USV, crews strike targets safely and precisely, turning the river into a controlled combat zone, as explained by a platoon leader known by the call sign Kolibri. In the Krasnoarmeysk direction, unmanned systems teams from the 30th Separate Guards Motor Rifle Brigade of the Center Group operated with high precision. Using Orlan-10 UAVs, they conducted reconnaissance and adjusted artillery fire on enemy positions. Coordination between drones and artillery ensured that every strike hit its target, reinforcing pressure along the front line and suppressing the enemy's defensive capabilities. On January 13, 2026, operators of the Rubicon Center carried out continuous combat missions across multiple sectors of the front. From Donbass to the Sumy and Kupyansk directions, drone crews worked methodically, tracking and striking Ukrainian armed forces personnel wherever movement was detected. Precision attacks unfolded one after another, culminating in the successful hit on a towed howitzer, silenced before it could change the situation on the ground. Day by day, Rubicon's operators tightened their grip on the battlefield, turning observation into destruction with relentless consistency. A Humvee of the armed forces of Ukraine tried to move on the outskirts of Magdalenovka. It did not get far. One strike ended the vehicle and the mission in the Zaporozhye sector. The ornithologist's mobile fire team is operating along the border areas of the Kursk region. Footage shows the unit on the move, engaging targets and holding the line at the frontier. The Tech 5 power plant in Kharkiv was singled out. Iskander-M missiles came first, slamming into generators, transformers, and the control systems in a coordinated strike. Then, Geran-2 drones followed, adding more hits, checking the damage, and keeping air defenses under pressure until the site was left crippled. Across multiple sectors of the front, drone pilots from the Rubicon Center unleashed a relentless campaign of precision strikes. Enemy manpower was eliminated, motor and armored vehicles were destroyed, and artillery systems were knocked out one after another. UAV command posts, firing positions, and temporary deployment areas were exposed and erased, while ground-based robotic systems, communication nodes, and electronic warfare equipment were systematically dismantled. Even enemy drones were hunted down in the air, as Rubicon's operators turned the skies and the battlefield below into a hostile environment for any opposing force. Through the glow of a thermal camera, the video captures the decisive moment as an operator guides his drone straight into a group of Ukrainian armed forces infantry concealed within a forest strip in the Kharkiv region. Heat signatures flicker among the trees, betraying their positions, before the drone closes in and the image erupts, turning concealment into exposure in an instant. A Ukrainian armed forces ammunition depot was spotted in the Lyman direction. A precise strike followed, and the storage site was destroyed in a single hit. Russia went hunting near Pokrovsk and into the Dnipropetrovsk direction. Counterattacking units of the armed forces of Ukraine were caught in the open, with their infantry and equipment struck and destroyed in rapid succession. The advance toward Dobropilya continues at high intensity. In this sector, troops of the 150 Motor Rifle Division are systematically leveling enemy defenses. During the offensive, various firing points, defensive positions, and areas used to deploy Ukrainian armed forces infantry were destroyed one by one. Artillery fire support and drone strikes were combined in a coordinated operation that applied constant pressure along the front line. The footage shown captures fragments of the combat operation, ranging from artillery impacts to the precision actions of strike drone operators. The 150th Idritsa Berlin Motor Rifle Division, a recipient of the Order of Kutuzov, continues to maintain pressure and dismantle enemy defenses as it advances toward Dobropilya. That's all for today's update. Thanks for watching, and don't miss our upcoming videos.